Who remembers this game? Of course you do. It's F1 2015, the best F1 game of 2015, because it's the only F1 game that came out in 2015. Hello everybody, and welcome to a brand new video here on the channel where, 10 years later, we are playing F1 2015, so you don't have to play it yourself and remember this game. And I was excited to actually play this, at the same time terrified, and we are going to just do a handful of races here, including my home race in Canada. We're going to have Australia, we're going to bring back Malaysia, we're going to race Monaco as well. We're going to be racing as my boy Sebastian Vettel, as you guys know, of course, he's my all-time favorite in Formula 1. And yeah, I mean, this game was so bare bones. You didn't have a career mode. It was just simply, you know, a championship mode, a race now mode, a pro season that you could do where you were like, I think you were like locked to the cockpit mode. Nonetheless, presentation, look at this like starting grid here. You go from like 11th to 20th is all like the names. Few names I don't even remember. Will Stevens, well, I remember the names, but just completely forgot about them. Like Robert Mary as well. As you see, we are going to be starting P3, Mercedes front row lockout. We're ready to go racing here for 5 laps from the Australian Grand Prix here at Albert Park. F1 2015 is underway, and I forgot to go. So, great start. We'll drop down multiple positions right off the bat behind our teammate of Kimi Räikkönen there, as we got Nico Hülkenberg in the Force India. We'll get past him. Thank you very much for at least in the points after that disaster, and I was running into problems immediately. So, my pedals, my throttle and brake, the game wouldn't register input on the throttle or brake until over 50% input on the pedals. It was super strange, and usually I would give a pass for this kind of thing because, yeah, it's a 10-year-old game. You know, maybe my pedals weren't even out at the time this game released. However, my wheel and pedals have no issues on older F1 games than this, F1 2014, 2013, 2012, etc. So, definitely, I'm not going to give a pass on this one. It was weird. So, you're going to notice that on these slow corners, I was having a really difficult time because in corners where you go down, I just got completely turned into the chicane. What in the world just happened? Look at this. Daniel Ricciardo completely wipes me out. I decided we would use a flashback because we're just having fun. So, we're going to recreate that whole scenario and actually completely go wide right there through the grass. I mean, I guess it worked, but in the corners that we have to go down to second gear or so, on the exit of them, it's pretty well impossible for me to match the AI because I need to basically go about 90% throttle just to get the car to fire up off of second gear. So, and at that point, you're slipping and sliding around because there's like a extremely small margin between what's a little bit of input with this game on my pedals to what's a lot of input. So it's, you know, I mean, almost impossible to be able to match the AI in the slow speed corners, which there's not really much of it here in Albert Park, but you're going to notice it throughout the video. But we spend the next few moments actually running down some cars here. We run down Räikkönen. We've made some headway. We're starting to find some pace, but one thing I'm really paying attention to is the AI. They kind of suck in this game. They don't really fight each other a whole lot. Räikkönen had run down Perez and Grosjean, but he wasn't really going for like any overtakes. He was just kind of like riding behind them, even though it was pretty evident he was faster. He just kind of decided to chill out here in P8. And actually, I'm gonna go for a deep lunge into the corner. I'm like, bro, if you ain't gonna go for it, I mean, don't mind it. But look at this. He has no problem fighting the player. We actually make some contact there, and actually contact with another car on my wheel in this game. Super violent on the wheel. I mean, it moves my entire house. As you can see, Räikkönen backs out of that one there into the chicane and actually gives up a ton of time as we're on the final lap at this point. And yeah, we at least rebound to P8. Not very good in my first race, but overall, I mean, the actual driving of the game doesn't necessarily feel that bad. If the pedals work the way they should in this game, overall, it wouldn't really play that bad. I mean, I was actually having a decent time in the driving aspect. Of course, this was the first game moving on from F1 2014, and it was on the, of course, new consoles at the time with Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and of course it was very bare bones because of that, and you just, you ran out of things to do super quick in F1 2015. I mean, you can run, like I said, a championship season, but there wasn't a career mode to, like, carve your own story out or anything like that, and yeah, just kind of, the game kind of sucked. In terms of features, and imagine if they released a game like this in, say, 2026, like a decade later, it would be unacceptable in this era of gaming. I mean, it would probably run the company into the ground. Look at what happened with NASCAR 21 Ignition, for example. Nonetheless, we're here for race 2. It's Malaysia. Track, of course, we don't have anymore on the F1 calendar, and it's raining, so I was really interested to see how this is going to go in terms of grip. So I'm running with 0 assists in this video, as I always do, and I was surprised immediately by the grip that I had. I mean, in this game, in the wet, you've got quite a bit of grip. So on the inters, you see me sliding around, but I mean, that is just because of this whole fine line of being in a low gear and the weird throttle input and brake input this game has with my pedals. So as I run into the back of Ricardo, you don't see anything, but that feels super violent on the wheel when I actually just graze the back wing of his car. But we complete lap 1, and we come into, of course, a low gear corner in the final turn, and I was now trying to stay in 3rd gear, because if I could stay in 3rd gear, I could get a little bit more aggressive on the throttle. Of course, the car's bogged down a little bit more, so it's kind of a, you're trading a little bit more stability for a bit of a lack of speed. It's just, yeah, it's kind of all over the place, and I completely overshoot turn 1. Through goes Kimi Räikkönen. In my first 2 races, man, we are struggling here. It's just not been pretty for me, and I'm not even running on the hardest AI difficulty. I'm running on Expert instead of Legend, just because I knew I was probably going to struggle. But, I mean, the actual driving part, yeah, the driving, like I said, is probably the highlight of this game, and at the time, the graphics upgrade from F1 2014 to 2015 was definitely the positive, and of course the big negative is just, lack of features, and outside of that, they at least set up a good foundation. Raikkonen's car just did something so strange right there, but the AI racing isn't the worst I've ever seen in racing games, but it's certainly far from the best I've seen. As you actually see Raikkonen looking for a move, but again, he doesn't go for it, so it's really weird. The AI are they're just really lackluster in F1 2015, and you can definitely, take advantage of that as we come through to lap 3, the final lap of this race, and I think Lewis Hamilton's going to win again. Raikkonen actually makes a move in the final turn on Daniel Kvyat and actually passes him, so okay. There's a little bit of something going on right there as we cross the stripe for P8, so let's try to improve. We're going to go to Canada, my home race, and in the past, anytime I've struggled, we can at least kind of recover when we come to the Canadian Grand Prix. We always seem to find some speed there, so I had high hopes that I would run better. So we actually start P2 front row alongside Lewis Hamilton here on the run into turn 1. It's lights out. We're racing. It's a nice sunny day here now, and hold on, here comes Rosberg. Now we drop immediately to 3rd, but I lunge it up the inside, and actually right here, really trying to avoid contact as the track surface looks almost like it's wet, as Ricardo and Bottas are able to get me as well, but we're going to go around the outside potentially right here of Ricardo. He backs out of it. Thank you very much. We'll go through back into P4. Let's see if we can run down Valtteri Bottas as I cream the wall right there, as we are now going to reel in this Williams. I mean, remembering the days when Williams was a decent competitive team here in the mid-2010s, and of course they fell off so hard. They're, slowly coming back into the conversation in real life, which is great to see as we come through to already lap 2, and we're tucked up right behind this Williams driver now, and actually we got his teammate of Felipe Massa just behind myself. So Williams really showing up here in Montreal now, as I'm just looking for an opportunity to get past him. But immediately, I told you, we come to Canada, and it's like a remedy to all of my struggles, because here we go, making a move for P3. Now Rosberg and Hamilton, they're about to scrap it out up there for the win of this race, and I was just hoping I could run them down. Unfortunately, I got nowhere. I mean, we come to the final lap and I basically gained nothing. So, but look at the track surface. It's so weird. It looks really shiny. It looks like it's wet. You can see the reflections on the racetrack right there. Yeah, that makes no sense, but nonetheless, we'll head down the straightaway for the final time into the final chicane, and they're actually side by side. It's going to be a drag race to the line between the two Mercedes. Who's it going to be? I think it's Hamilton. It is Lewis Hamilton. We do set the fastest lap, so I'm proud of that. And we do get podium celebrations. You have to finish on the podium to actually see the podium celebration in this game, which is weird. So if you're not on the podium, you're not going to see it. But if you're on the podium, you finally get to see Sebastian Vettel in his glory celebrating a podium here from Montreal. And now we'll go into, actually I just noticed in the top right, 2015 live. So that's like the Sky Sports like live thing, but instead it's like 2015 live. Interesting. Now we're going to race to finish things off in Monaco. I'd already felt like the problem with this game is I'd already felt like I had experienced all this game had to offer, and I'd only been playing for about 30 minutes. Now we kick off Monaco, and of course it's raining again as we head down into turn 1, starting P2 again, same as Canada. Rosberg going for the move. We'll get him around the outside now, and we're free to try and fight with Lewis Hamilton to the end of this Grand Prix. Only 3 laps. Oh my goodness, I just about plowed into the back of the Mercedes right there. Fortunately, we do avoid him, and we'll kind of settle in behind in this second position, waiting for the right opportunity to go forward now. Is very concerned about this hairpin right here, because I've got to go down to like first or second gear. And I mean, look at the car. I mean, Hamilton just drives away because I have to stab the throttle just to get the car to actually pick up any input on the pedals. It's so weird, and there's no like option to calibrate your pedals in the game. It's pure garbage. So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of working with what we have as we actually reel in Lewis here through the bus stop chicane as we head through the left-hander, and now seeing, okay, maybe there's a bit more pace as we graze the guardrail on the right side. We've outbraked ourselves. We've run in the back of Lewis Hamilton. I am so sorry, Lewis. Now we'll go side by side. He gets ahead. We get a warning for a collision. No surprise. And as we came to the end of lap 1, he had opened up the gap because of all of that to over nearly almost 2 seconds now as we came out of turn 1 now with a bunch of pressure from Rosberg. But yeah, there was the AI really speedy compared to me in certain sections of this racetrack, and then there's other parts of the racetrack where I'm way faster than the AI are. So it was really in kind of the end of Sector 2, first bit of Sector 3. I was really able to gain on Lewis, but overall, I just suck so bad in this game so far that it wasn't really mattering, because I would get close and then I would do something like that. I would plow into the outside wall. In my defense, I have to find so much brake pedal just to get a little bit out of the car, so that's going to be my excuse for that as we come to the final lap here. And at this point, I was like, you know what, like I said, I've already kind of discovered everything that this game has to offer in terms of the racing, and you know, the only other thing there is a championship mode, which I might be doing a series on. Stay tuned, where we'll do however many races they had in 2015, like 16, 17 races that had to have been, as we head into this final sector here from this Monaco race. And yep, into the outside wall again. Gonna be really interesting because I don't want to play with a controller if I do a season mode, but I also don't want to have to do 90% throttle just to get any throttle input out of this game through an entire season. So I'm gonna see if there's anything I can do about that. But nonetheless, we round the final turn. Lewis Hamilton, he's gonna win in Monaco. He won every race, and we're gonna come through to finish P2. We got better as it went on, but we come up just short of a victory, and we'll try to do that throughout an entire season, as we do get to celebrate on the podium with Mr. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg themselves here. Now we shake hands. Ferrari celebrates ecstatically there as we're all running around. Oh, actually, we're on the ground. No podium as we celebrate on the pavement. That's going to do it for me. I'll be back in, well, the next one should be a championship season at some point here in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what your thoughts were of this game. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.